Most people think Bruce Lee became legendary because of his speed, his power, and his physical talent. But his real strength wasn't in his muscles, it was in his mind. His philosophy was never about defeating others. It was about mastering the inner battles that ordinary people lose every single day. Think about how much of your stress comes from things you can't control. The economy, your boss's mood, your family's expectations, or the choices your kids will make years from now. These worries drain your energy, but none of them moves your life forward. Bruce Lee solved this problem with a way of thinking that could clear out 80% of your anxiety in less than 30 seconds. It's simple, practical, and surprisingly modern. Imagine your mind having two invisible circles. The big outer circle is everything you care about but can't control. Other people's opinions, world events, the future. The smaller inner circle is what you can actually influence right now. A message you can send, a decision you can make, a task you can finish. Anxiety happens when your attention gets trapped in the outer circle. The moment you pull it back to the inner one, your mind becomes calm and focused again. There are 3 mental switches that make this work. The first switch is a single question powerful enough to interrupt anxiety the moment it starts. What part of this situation is actually under my control? You can't control your boss's attitude, but you can control how prepared you are. You can't control whether a client replies, but you can control how clearly you communicate. The question snaps your mind out of emotional mode and into problem-solving mode. The second switch is breaking things down. Once you identify what you can control, you dissect it into the smallest possible pieces. If you're nervous about giving a presentation, forget the audience. Focus on your first 3 sentences. Focus on your breathing. Focus on how many times you practice. A great chef can't control what a customer will think of the dish, but they can control every gram of seasoning and every second of heat. Real control is always found in small details. The third switch is the smallest action. Anxiety dissolves the moment action begins. Not huge action, just one small, immediate steps. Something that takes less than 5 minutes. If you're stressed about next month's finances, don't try to solve everything at once. Open your spreadsheet. Write down today's expenses. Send one message to a potential client. You don't move the mountains. You push the flywheel an inch. Momentum does the rest. Let's make this real. Imagine your boss criticizes you in front of everyone. Your instinct is anger, embarrassment, maybe even panic. But you can't control their tone or their mood. What you can control is your reaction. You pause for one breath. You ask yourself the question. Then you take your smallest action. Write down the points they mentioned. And calmly asked, "What's the first thing you'd like me to adjust next time?" You turn emotional chaos into usable data. That's what self-control looks like. Or imagine conflict in your family, especially around parenting. You can't change your parents' or grandparents' lifelong beliefs, but you can control how you guide your children, how aligned you are with your partner, and how stable you stay emotionally. Your smallest action might simply be listening politely, then later sitting with your partner to agree on one specific parenting rule you'll follow consistently. You move from arguing to teamwork. And then there's the quietest anxiety of all, feelings behind in life. You see people your age achieving things faster, and you feel stuck. But you can't control their timeline. You can only control how you invest in yourself today. Break it down, read one page of an important article. Finish one tiny practice project. Ask one expert one clear question. Start with the smallest action. Just open the article and read the first page. Progress returns instantly. This is the heart of Bruce Lee's philosophy. It wasn't about domination. It was about freedom, the freedom that begins the moment you stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Truly strong people don't scatter their attention everywhere. They pour all their focus into the small spaces where their actions actually matter. So the next time life hits you with stress or uncertainty, remember 3 words. Ask to break, act. Ask what's controllable. Break it into small pieces. Take the smallest action. Do this. And in 30 seconds, your mind becomes clear and your life moves forward.